Google is the lens most of the world peeks through. Type a question, and the company returns answers that feel natural, even authoritative. But that apparent neutrality makes a commercial architecture that ranks, recommends, and monetizes knowledge. Google's products, search, YouTube, Android, Maps, ads, and its AI labs, don't just retrieve the world, they recognize it to optimize engagement, ad revenue, and strategic advantage. What you see and who profits from it are outcomes of deliberate design choices and business incentives, not digital search used to be a librarian's craft. Over decades, it became an auction house. The results page blends organic links, paid placements, rich snippets, and vertical answers drawn from Google's own properties. Ranking signals are complex and proprietary. Relevance models, user intent inferences, personalization, and commercial scoring. That mix advantages sites that play by Google's rules, technical SEO, structured data, and platform partnerships, while marginalizing others. When Google surfaces its own services in answer boxes, maps data, YouTube videos, shopping results, it captures attention inside its ecosystem, reducing outbound clicks and increasing ad exposure. YouTube is Google's cultural amplifier. Recommendation systems prioritize watch time and engagement, not truth. Short form formats, sensational hooks, and algorithmically optimized thumbnails thrive because they keep viewers inside the app longer. That creates incentives for creators to chase virality through provocative content, sensational edits, and rapid outbook cycles. Incidentally, the sound that you're hearing right now is a sort of a shower that we're getting in early spring. The rain hitting my tin roof of my homestead. Getting back to the podcast. Creator monetization is uneven. Top channels command sponsorship and ad revenue, while mid level creators struggle. Platform changes, demonetization rules, policy shifts, or subtle algorithm updates can wipe out livelihoods overnight, all driven by opaque ranking tweaks and advertiser pressure. Android and maps put Google at the center of daily life. Android's platform dominance gives Google levers over app distribution and data collection. Maps power local search and commerce discovery, and the company monetizes location signals into ad placements. Location data is profoundly revealing where you live, work, worship, shop. Tied to search and ad targeting, that data enables hyper local campaigns and measurement in ways legacy media can't match. Google's vertical integration, owning the operating system, search, maps, and ad stack, creates a closed loop where attention, intent, and location are tied together to maximize commercial value. Underneath the consumer products is an ad machine built on micro targeting. Advertisers can buy intent based placements, queries signaling purchase intent, viewership patterns on YouTube, or local behaviors inferred from maps. Real time bidding and lookalike audiences let brands target narrow cohort with tailored creatives. That capability powers effective marketing but also enables covert persuasion. Messages crafted and distributed to small groups can influence behavior without public visibility. The ad ecosystem depends on detailed signals about individuals, and Google's control of those signals give it outsized power in the digital attention marketplace. Google's data practices extend beyond classic advertising. Training modern AI models requires massive curated datasets. The company ingests public web content, licensed material, and proprietary user interactions to build models that power search, Bard, and other products. Questions about provenance, consent, and copyright persist. What content was used? Who benefits? And how are creators compensated? Google's efforts to vertically integrate AI, custom chips, data centers, and model libraries are designed to lock in capabilities others can't easily replicate, creating long term competitive modes around services that increasingly mediate information. Algorithmic opacity is a recurring problem. Google publishes guidelines and research, but core ranking ways and recommendation policies remain private. That secrecy serves product integrity and anti abuse concerns, but it also prevents independent audit and meaningful public accountability. The company's internal trade offs, where engagement metrics can outweigh safety or fairness, reveal how commercial priorities shape system behavior at scale. Influence and political impact are not hypothetical. Search suggestions, autocomplete, and recommended videos can amplify narratives and shape public opinion. Political advertisers use Google's targeting tools to reach receptive audiences with tailored messages. Disinformation actors exploit the platform's scale and complexity to spread content that evades blanket moderation. Google's responses, labeling, downranking, or removing content, are partial and often reactive. The company faces global regulatory pressure, but also has the means to adapt policy selectively in ways that protect its commercial interests. Competition and antitrust concerns loom large. Google's vertical integration, owning key points in the ad stack, the dominant search engine, a major mobile operating system, and the world's largest video platform, raises questions about market power. Rivals and regulators argue that Google favors its own services in search results, restricts competition on Android, and tilts ad auctions to its benefit. Antitrust actions, fines, and settlements have forced changes, but structural remedies remain limited. Google's strategy blends product improvement with legal maneuvering, buying time while it continues to expand its adjacent markets, cloud computing, AI, and autonomous vehicles. YouTube's content moderation and monetization policies reflect trade offs between advertiser comfort and creator freedom. Advertisers demand brand safety, pushing the platform to demonetize or deboost content that risks association with controversy. That pressure cascades into opaque enforcement. Creators see sudden changes in reach, ad rates, or strikes that lack consistent justification. At the same time, YouTube experiments with new monetization features, subscriptions, merchandising integrations, and super chats. Tilt benefits toward creators who can migrate their audiences into paid funnels, deepening the divide between top creators and everyone else. Privacy is a moving target. Google has introduced privacy facing features, sandboxing, flock topics, experiments, and data monetization efforts. But these moves also reflect strategic shifts that retain targeting capabilities while placating regulators. The company frames changes as protective, but creates and critics point out that many alternatives preserve ad effectiveness through cohorting or on device modeling. True privacy would reduce ad precision and, by extension, Google's revenue. The tension between privacy commitments and businesses models explain why changes are instrumental rather than transformative. Google's investments in frontier tech, Waymo, DeepMind, generative AI, and custom silicon illustrate a two-track strategy: defend core ad revenues while inventing new platforms for future monetization. Waymo aims to capture transportation data and commerce in physical mobility. DeepMind pushes state of the art AI research that can be productized. Custom chips and data centers lower marginal costs and enable scale. These bets are expensive and risky, but they also create optionality. Owning the tech stack early gives Google leverage if new markets, autonomous rides, AI assistance, or immersive AR, become central to human attention and commerce. The human cost of these systems surfaces in creators losing income to algorithm tweaks, small businesses competing in a pay to play local market, and public disclosure fraying under recommendation driven bubbles. Inside Google, engineers wrestle with ethical trade offs. Whistleblowers surface concerns, and leadership navigates a complex balancing act between innovation and public responsibility. Reports of internal experiment, biased model outcomes, or contested moderation decisions make clear that these technologies reflect human choices, choices that can and should be scrutinized. What can viewers do? Diversify where you search and watch. Support independent publishers and creators directly. Scrutinize targeted ads and demand transparency in ranking and recommendation systems. Regulatory pressure matters. Push the cleaner disclosure around ad targeting, algorithmic audits, and stronger copyright protections for creators whose work trains AI. Above all, treat search results and recommendations as starting point, not gospel. Look for original sources, check multiple perspectives, and question the incentives shaping what appears at the top. Google built an extraordinary set of tools for finding and organizing information. But power occurs to the entity that controls the lens through which billions see the world. Understanding that control, how products, ads, AI, and policy interact, is the first step toward holding an atlas with more than one scale. The company's designs shape not just commerce and convenience, but knowledge itself. If you want a different internet, start by demanding different rules for the engines that index it. Really, far be it from me to tell anyone what to do. So let me tell you what I'm doing. As you know, I have already removed myself from the city and live off grid in the forest. But as I'm not Amish, if there is still such a thing anymore, I still have to use technology. But what I try to do is to severely limit my time and dependency on technology, not because I'm against it as a tool, but because I really don't care for the individuals who are running those companies, their policies, and by extension, the governments that are, for some reason or another, in cahoots with them. I do have a cell phone, but it sits there turned off until I either have to go to town or have to the time to listen to a podcast, for instance. Let me know if you have any comments or suggestions for a future episode. Thanks for joining me at my off grid, humble homestead in the forest on this rainy day. If you liked this episode, you know what to do, and I thank you.